Oh! 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 Aw, look at that smile. Nostalgia. She's teleported to the past as if she's still there with them. Aw. Himmel's consideration is one of the biggest superpowers in the entire show. He's just considerate. He's just thoughtful in nature. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a licensed psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome back to my detailed psychological analysis of Frieren Season 2, Episode 9. T-minus 1 week until the end of Season 2, until Frieren leaves us again. But fret not, I'm sure we'll finish very, very strongly. Happy Frieren Friday, everyone. Assassination Zero, Samsonian, Helixy, Jenny Shimaru, and Roxy Love are the founding sponsors here of my videos. Shout out to your support, and shout out to every single patron family members and YouTube members for your ongoing support and engagements. Much, much appreciated. Sit back and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Our favorite Dunkin' Donuts Grandpa Dunkin' Donuts is back with this donuts, sweets, and wisdom. Man, Dunkin', good seeing you. Welcome back. Oh, look at that grandpa smile. It's fine. I'll make the rest of my journey alone. But remember I talked about towards the end of last season with the May tournament when Duncan reunited with Frieren, Fern, he offered his generosity of snacks and treats because apparently the sweets and desserts were extremely expensive back then. But with Duncan, towards the end of his lifespan, after coming back to the north, obviously looking for his wife's grave because he had to be a first-class mage, with this reunion, what does it say? It's fine. I'm going to finish the journey alone. But he's not alone because he's here for the sake of his wife, deceased wife. So her spirit is here with him. He never traversed alone, even though seemingly so. Oh, so he probably hired the North Company for his convoy, for his transport, because it's not that he needs the transportation necessarily, but of course as a mage, he may need the help of warriors, but I think it's just convenience, right? But again, going back to Norm, the presidents of the North Company, and because in episode 8, it really showcased the utmost importance of the supply chain logistical network. The North Company does play an instrumental role. Without the North Company, as the Norm said, the entire region will fall prey to the demons, and so many people will die of starvation because lack of supply. So in that sense, shout out to Norm, and shout out to North Company. You guys are truly doing great work, and your extortion effort is now forgiven. Love the background music. Evan called it great. Wow, look at this. So I talked about forest symbolize psychological uncertainty, unknown, when Method and Fern were fighting against those demons, right? Makes sense. Forest means lurking, hidden danger. But here, the feeling of this background music, this very grand, almost like we're back in church, a cathedral music, right? Although Grandpa Duncan is going into the forest alone, which previously symbolized psychological uncertainty. But here, I think it actually symbolizes his emotional certainty because he knows exactly where he's heading. He knows precisely what his destination is, the graveyard of his deceased wife. Finally reuniting emotionally and physically, and ultimately spiritually with his wife. Interesting how Frieren uses forest and all these similar background and context, but so differently based on the situations. They're building it from the ground up, post ruins. Even that site, the bird's eye view site of this village looks like it was previously destroyed, but now it's work in progress. It's in the process being rebuilt. I think that scenery, that scene symbolizes a resilience and adaptability of humans, period. So many villages get destroyed. countless times in the northern plateau. But then the same villages and other remaining villages will build themselves back up from the ground up. It will rebuild itself. It will come back on its feet. And the northern plateau for who knows how long, until they maybe finally eradicate demons. I don't even know if that's possible. But regardless, with this in-between space, between chaos and order, war and peace, during this in-between space, the villages, regardless of destruction, chaos, demon attacks, they'll continue to rebuild themselves up. They'll continue to rise up to the occasion and being rebuilt. Isn't that what human experiences, our lived experiences, the resilience of a human nature? We will get beaten down by life, different situations, circumstances, trauma. But don't many of us, if not most of us, eventually get back up? I think that's so beautiful. Just like the village. It was once destroyed, but now it's being rebuilt. I think that's the beauty of life. Yeah. Dragon. Flight of dragons, yo! Also, why is Heiter the bishop as a priest, as a healer, always carrying around Aizen the warrior? it's hilarious. I guess Aizen's legs also give out, just like Stark, despite stepping up to the occasion, but they're always scared. True symbolism of emotional courage. But yeah, it's so funny that Heiter the bishop as a healer is always carrying Aizen the warrior, the tank. Oh. I wonder if Stark and Fern are, shivering, shaking together, unison. One, it's just an excuse for them to get some physical intimacy, physical touch, right? That's nice. Why else do couples love to watch scary movies in the modern dating context? It's the perfect excuse and perfect opportunity to get some dopamine hit, sure, but to get some physical intimacy. Get cuddly, get warm, right? That physical intimacy is nice. So maybe that's the reason why Stark and Fern are shaking. But secondly, maybe they're still dealing with the residual impacts of their recent fight with the Divine Revolts. Sure, they rose up to the occasion. Sure, they came out triumphant with the help of Method and Ganao. But no one can deny the near-death severity of Stark's injury, despite being an absolute beast and freak of a nature with his recovery and stamina, and the final slash. And Fern's ultimate transformation and evolution from AK-47, which is a close and mid-range melee weapon or shooting weapon, to freaking the sniper, 50 cal.
Oh, it's just right in front of us.
But despite all that, as humans, we need to process our emotions. We need to decompress, debrief, process our trauma, impact. And obviously a fight, when you're fighting for your life, of course that requires tremendous emotional processing. So I think those two are the reasons why Stark and Fern are demonstrating, oh, it's so scary. But this is our home. That's a callback and parallel process to Stark making a comment that it's so dangerous. Why don't villagers just flee their home? And Frieren's like, this is their home. Much more than just a physical home, the entity of a physicality, a physical home, but the symbolism, emotional representation of an emotional home, emotional harbor. That's a parallel process. But this time, Frieren says that to the villager, but the villager says, but this is our home. Who are we without a home?
そうですよ、フリーレン様。さすがにひどすぎます。
村の人たちがかわいそうだぜ。
相手は竜の群れだよ。分かっているの。こちらも無事では済まない。
故郷を守るんだろ。
ああ。
報酬次第かな。
それがこの村は貧しくとても支払えるものは。
Oof.
魔導書とかはないの？
早口言葉を噛まずに言えるようになる魔法
Only one for terribly uses spell, even before he explains what it is. Say less, friends. Say less.
という何の役にも立たないような魔法しか
本当に何の役にも立たなさそうですね。
That might be useless even for Frieren. She's thinking.
もう魔法なら何でもないのか。
In light of a new spell, Frieren's dignity and integrity is nowhere to be seen. It's not even within this plane. It's like outside of this plane.
森の奥から確か
Flights of dragons.
魔
Wow.
力の子
Oh, it's like a compass. Compass spell. I see.
でも魔法ってすごい。
Yeah, it is amazing. すごいで
こういう時に
す。
本当に
That's right. Keep the praise.
あまり安易に褒めるとフリーレン様
Mr. Stark carelessly praising her isn't good for Miss Frieren's development. Fern, what development, yo? Like, Frieren is your grandparents times to the 1000th, right? But of course, emotional development, because Frieren is still like an adolescent, young adult, based on the Elvian species stage of development, right? That's hilarious. But look at Frieren's little smirk. She's like, yes, praise me more. Yes. Like a little cute pet, dog or cat.
それもそうよ。
二人は私を何だと思っているの
They know exactly who you are, Frieren. Oh, man. Fern the mom. Let's be honest, y'all. Yes, Fern has developed to Fern the sniper. But let's be honest. The primary identity of Fern is always going to be Frieren's caregiver, Frieren's mom, and Fern the accountant. It's always going to be Fern the mom and Fern the accountant, and then everything else, like the sniper.
いたね
Oh, shit.
すごい数だな。
Wow, that's a
でも
lot.
小型の竜だ高恐竜と比べたらそこまで強くはない
Mm. Oh, those are baby dragons.
人に引きつけてまとめて倒そう
Let me guess. Stark is going to be the decoy.
シュタルク足止めは頼んだよ
Stark keep them locked
竜
down.
との戦いは経験
As in he's going to be the tank and
全
DPS.
くスパルタだな。
Oh, here they come.
始めようか
Let's
今
go.
度はちゃんと打ってくれよな。
Oh, peak action right away. Let's go. Oh, go Stark. Yo, tank DPS soloing entire raid. Stark, the Dragon Slayer. Let's go. Oh, oh, oh. Yo, one shot, one hit? Or one shot, one kill? Oh, wow. Oh. Come on, Stark, you got this. Is this gonna be another 30-second solo fight? Oh! Oh! Let's go, Fern the sniper. Let's go. Oh my gosh! Yo! Wow. Rain of blood. Man! Dang, Stark. He's still on his feet. Oh, okay. They caught him. Dang, he passed out of exhaustion already.
とんでもない激戦だったぜ。
That was.
崩壊があってよかったねシュタルク様途中で竜に頭
Actually, though, yo, he got bit. Yo!
なんで無事なんですか
That's true.
わかんない。
戦士なら普通
Fern, asking Stark about his level of self-awareness, his insights. I think you are asking for a little bit too much, but it's true. Remember, Stark's dormant potential as an amazing, powerful warrior was first acknowledged and witnessed by Aizen during their practice, right? I mean, Stark's, it's, again, I don't know if there's like are there ranks for warriors like first class warrior, second class warrior, and so on? Or is it uniquely a mage thing because of Zairi and her establishment of mage society based on Flamme the legendary mage dying request. But yeah, I wonder what rank Stark would be equivalent to. Like, would it be first class or not quite, or is it more second class?
アイゼンも頭かじられて無傷だったし
Bro, it's because they're both
アイ
monsters.
ゼン様がおかしいですよ
お待たせしました。
Yo, Frieren is so used to strong characters in her life. Like that's probably usual. I remember Aizen will recover very instantaneously. She's desensitized to powerful characters because everyone she knows that survived or she fought with are so powerful. That's why she's immune to other OP characters, including Stark. And Fern's like, Frieren-sama, no, Aizen is definitely not normal. He was an outlier, so is Stark. There are also lineage of prodigy and lineage of monsters. Absolute monstrosity, just like Fern, Frieren, and Flamme the legendary mage.
ありがとうございました。報酬の魔導書です。
Tongue twister magic. Let's go. Oh, look at that respect. The villager flipped the order of the grimoire before handing to Frieren as a sign of respect. Very thoughtful.
人助けをするときはほぼ毎回報酬をもらっていますよね
Good observation.
ヒンメルがそうだったからね
意外だな。
そうだよね私もそう思っていた
All right, let's see the flashback. There we
本
go.
当に助かりました。
本来もっと価値のあるものをお渡しするべきなのでしょうが見ての通り
Oh, oyster mushrooms.
さすがに受け取れんぞ。
Why?
あれは魔導書？
Oh, they can't accept food because that's all they have left. They can't take their means of payment for transaction when it's their only food source. Of course, that would be extremely cruel. So Himmel's looking around. And I think I know why Himmel, I guess, had this philosophy of always having transactions before helping people. He's not doing it out of greed. Obviously, we've established many episodes ago that Himmel the hero truly is altruistic. He is him, and he represents the pinnacle of altruism, true heroism, heroic nature. I think he always proceed helping people with transactions because he's doing it for the psychological and emotional comfort of villagers that he helps out. In other words, he wants to make sure by getting paid, air quote, although the means, it's not quite equivalent. The input they provide, saving villagers, slaughtering demons, and slaying monsters, is obviously much harder than the payments they receive. Yet, he does this because he wants to make sure the villagers do not feel further indebted to them, which could create this psychological and emotional weight and burden. Villagers always struggle enough. There's already plenty suffering, emotional, physical, and psychological suffering they have to endure as a baseline. So I think Himmel, the hero, as an altruistic hero, he is him. He's like, you know what? Let me receive even as little as whatever. Let's still receive payments to ease some burdensome nature because villagers are nice. And of course, they feel grateful toward those that saved their lives, right? I think that's Himmel, the hero's philosophy. I think she's gonna ask Himmel his
なんで
reasons.
ヒンメルって
Yep.
人助けの時毎回と言っていいほど
Ah, I see. It's for indebtedness. Yep.
僕たちは勇者一行なんだ。
Oh, so thoughtful, dude.
僕たちが求めているのは誰かを助けることであって。ってしまったら
Wow.
本当の意味で助けたことにはならないだろう。
How is Himmel so thoughtful? Because he's also pretty young. I mean, again, it's hard to tell someone's age in an anime, but he has to be mid-20s, tops? How is he so thoughtful, so conscientious, so mindful? Himmel's consideration is one of the biggest superpowers in the entire show. He's just he's just thoughtful nature.
だからこんなくだらない魔法でも報
Tongue
酬と
twister
してもらっ
smell.
ておくんだよ。
That's true.
フリーレン
Yeah. Aw.
後でほん
We see Stark and Fern smiling. They're like, "Oh, Frieren, you really are a master of your own. You really are great. We're so lucky to have you as our mentor and Cerigo parents."
当に噛まないか実験しようと。
結局魔法が欲しいだけじゃない。
どうせなら竜に噛まれなくなる魔法とかにしてくれ
Episode 37, Himo's Memories.
外の様子はどうだ
Also, one thing it just hit me is, I don't know if this is entirely accurate, but I'm just, I don't know, sharing my hypothesis. Based on my observation and perception, I feel like the frequency and the duration of Frieren's flashback and memory recall about Himo and his parties have been decreasing more and more. To me, that symbolizes Frieren becoming more present, more mindful, and implementing and internalizing a lot of the life lessons that Himo the hero instilled and left behind with Frieren. But at the end of the day, I think Frieren is honoring Himo the hero's legacy and all those memories because Frieren has perfect memory so far by prioritizing the expansion, the increasing of her current present memories and bonding with Stark and Fern. And maybe Zine, if he ever makes it back after finding his silverback gorilla friends. So I think that's the reason, based on my perspective, that the memory recall about Himo the hero has been gradually and slowly decreasing over time. Because she's more present in the now. She's no longer living in the past of regrets and longing. Why should she have regrets when her presence party is so emotionally fulfilling?
まだ当分は出発できそうにな。
Rainy season. Is Aizen upside down with this? What is Aizen freaking doing a handstand with his pinky stance? Dang, Aizen, what a flex. And of course, Hydra the Bishop is surrounded by 14 bottles of wine.
そうです。
飲みすぎでの間違いでしょ。
Facts. Also, the best thing I heard about boredom is accidental meditation. Boredom, this feeling of being bored, when we exist in nothingness, idleness, and in between, what to do next, what did we do yesterday, anxiety and depression, because anxiety is what? Our rumination about the future. And what is depression? Generally speaking, rumination and stresses and regrets and suffering from the past. So in that sense, boredom can only happen when we're ultimately in the present, truly immersed and engaged with the presence of now. That's when we can feel bored. In that sense, boredom is accidental meditation. But of course, most of us, we now have developed allergies and we have now become allergic toward boredom because of dopamine culture and everything now, instant gratification and so on, right? But yeah, next time you guys feel bored, pause and take a moment to appreciate. And I encourage all of us to sit in that boredom a little bit longer because boredom is accidental meditation.
僕たちは魔王を倒す冒
えいよ
険の途中なんだから。
そ
True.
の冒険
決まることだけが冒険じゃない。
Just a journey.
冒険とはこういうクソみたいな日常の連続なんだ。
Oh, great
誰
perspective.
もクソなんて
Hmm? What'd you lose?
しましたか。
ああ。いや。
What'd you lose? "30 years after the death of Himo the hero."
1週間
That's rough. Jeez.
今日はわ
出せると思うか
Nice. I love the saying that all of us are multilingual because most of us or all of us speak the language of sarcasm. Oh, fish. Wow. My boat is in a coffin, deep.
そうだよね。
Yeah, it's rough.
しかし
Who's gonna take their
驚いた
ships
な
out? Hmm. Oh, that was a
下手
lake?
な内海よりも大きい。
Oh man, it is
確
brutal
か
out
に
here.
対岸がほとんど見えないもんな。
Hmm.
対岸は想像以上に遠い。フェルンは魔力が持たないでしょう。
湖を迂回することはできないのでしょうか。
それも難
You see? Fern's primary identity. Fern, the mom.
しいだろうね。
なんでだ？
そもそもの悪天候の原因が、東西の山脈だ。
Oh.
峠道もないような天候の荒れた山脈を越えようだなんて自殺行為だ。
True.
下手に遠回りをするくらいならここで数ヶ月待った方が結果的には安全で早く進める
A few months.
幸いここは交易拠点の大きめの港町だ。
Yo, look at Fern's eyes. She's like, we ain't spending few months here, Frieren. So I'm like, no. Do you see her eyes?
潰すには最適だ。
For Frieren. Oh, look at Stark doing his handstands. That's a homage to Aizen the Warrior. Wow, dude, Stark the freak. What a beast. Aw. Another episode full of nothingness, yet wholesomeness. Would you guys agree Frieren is the only show, maybe in recent years, that we can literally watch nothing happening, yet feel so full? This heartfelt wholesomeness, this passage of time. Because life is mostly comprised of uneventful things. Sure, we have trauma, dramatic situations, circumstances, of course. But for many of us, if we were to really review the archive of our lives, most of it is uneventfulness. Most of it is nothingness. It's the in-between space. And that's okay. That's why we have to look for the miracle in the mundane. And another day of mundane, another mundane day means we are alive and safe. It's like for a lot of military folks, since I'm a veteran, and a lot of law enforcement officers, there's a saying that a boring day is a good day. A boring day is a good day absent of death, hurting, injuries, crisis, situations, and danger. Right? Oh, clear it up. They did wait months. Wow. Okay.
ああ、それで船代はあるのか。ああいう時期でないとはいえ、決して安全な航路じゃない。
That's fair.
それなりの値段はするぞ。まったく足りない。
They're broke
フ
again.
リーレン様が魔導書を買いすぎたせいですよ。
暇だ。
行こうか。
Okay. Barter system.
この先の島に打ち捨てられた修道院があるのだが。
Oh.
があるらしい。
Full circle, Him of the Hero's memories.
わしの祖父の代にこの町を救ってくれてな。
Mm.
子供の頃からの憧れだ。
Aww. Aww.
ヒンメルの自伝。そういえば
Oh, Himmel's memoirs, not memories. I was like, how do you find memories?
旅の途中で書きかけの自伝をなくしたって言っていたな。
Oh, that's what he was looking for
どうしていた
earlier.
っけ？
I see. Aww.
まさかあんな場所にあったの。
Wow. Impressive writing.
いいよ。その依頼引き受けた。
Nice. Also, I love Frieren's humility throughout the entire series. She never showcases, she's never showmanistic, she never boasts about, I'm Frieren, the Slayer. I also helped defeat the Demon King alongside Himmel the hero. Hello, what about me? She never does that. She stays low key. She never makes it about herself. She has zero ego. Frieren may have 99 problems, but egotism is not one of them. And I like how she also, as broke as she is, chronically unemployed, she never asks for a discount by pulling her Frieren card. She's like, sure. Beautiful day. Oh, look at that water animation. Wow. It's a big ass lake.
見つかったっていう噂もあってな。
Wow.
湖を渡る連中は特に多い。
Hmm.
黄金鏡それって本当かよ。
さあな。
Hmm.
夢物語だろうさ。
Oh,
あ
Free.
の島だ。
Oh, Frieren had a flashback. Maybe she knows of this golden lands, and maybe she's even gone there before.
何十年も前のものみたいだからね。
Several decades
立
old.
派な修道院なのにどうして打ち捨てられたんだ。
魔物の襲撃で屋根が崩落したんだそうだ。
Hmm.
には古い貴重な書物が保管されているからね。
結界は持ち出せなかった書物を守るためのものだったのですね。
Ah, I see. Okay.
昔の話だ。勇者ヒンメルの自伝の話以外何にも残っちゃいない。
Himo the
そうだ
hero.
な。
Yeah,
ヒ
huge.
ンメル様の像がありますね。
Ah, one of them. Or that's all of them? Nice. Very well preserved. Aw, memory lane. Aw. Seeing Himmel the Hero's memoirs reactivating Frieren's memory recall, memory formation. Aw. Aw. Aw, look at that smile. Nostalgia. She's teleported to the past as if she's still there with them. Aw. This is when he lost it, so he couldn't write more. Oh man. Incomplete memoir. Aw.
の日常。
Aw.
ただの日常だよ。
Everyday stuff. You see, she said that it's just of everyday minutiae, ridiculous stuff. This is a callback and echoing of what I said earlier. Most of our lives are comprised of mundane, the inconsequential, uneventful. And that is a beautiful thing. Because we do not want the majority of our lives to be like reality TV shows filled with drama, trauma, big situations. That'll be absolutely exhausting and very unsafe, right? But that's what Frieren's saying. It's just the everyday, minutiae, ridiculous stuff. But that's what life is. That is the beauty of life.
はい。依頼の報酬だ。こ
Aw.
れで船代はチャラだね。
Yes. Hmm?
エルフ
Oh, there we go.
がいたと
Some
聞いたこと
recognition.
がある。
That's
ま
right.
さかお前だったとはな。
Aww. ああ、
これは大切なものなんだろう。
face of
お前が持ってい
nostalgia.
る
Aw. What a kind man.
他にも価値のある本はいくらでもある。報酬はそれ。
Aw. You see? That's a callback to Himmel the hero's philosophy of helping people. He wants to make sure that the helpee never feels indebted. Same here, because he's like, that's right. It's not just Himmel the hero that saved my village during my grandparents' time, grandfather's time, but also Frieren the Grey Mage. This elf also saved my village during my grandpa's time. He doesn't want to feel indebted, because if he were to accept payment in full based on their previous agreements, he would feel this lingering indebtedness. And he's like, nope, I'll seek elsewhere, keep it. Right?
こうしてた。
Very nice guy.
少しだけ。
かっこいい
Beautiful.
決め台詞集はいらないかな。ページの無駄遣いだ。
使ってみるか。
Let's hear
かか
one.
ってこい魔物よ。この戦士シュタルクが相手になろう。
Oh! Yo, that timing. Yo, Kraken.
海の魔物までいるのか。
Yo.
タルクが
Release the Kraken. Watery grave. Oh, there she goes. Come on, Stark. Yo. Yo. She's getting waterboarded, the full body version. Yo.
フリーレン様、早速早口言葉を噛まずに言えるようになる魔法を活用。
Yo. Immediate utility. Immediate ROI. Return on investment is great.
怖い。
Yeah, 10 out of 10 episode full of nothingness, but there's everything within those nothingness. And I'm glad Stark, our dear boy wonder Starcoon, unlocked his new achievements, new title of Stark the Dragon Slayer, and pending Stark the Kraken Slayer. Amazing episode, guys. Thank you for tuning in as always. And remember, we matter. We are worthy. And let's appreciate the mundane a little bit more. And let's appreciate and be grateful that most of our lives are uneventful and inconsequential. And that is a beautiful thing. As always, thank you for tuning in. Check out our Patreon family for unedited footages and early access and exclusive content. As always, thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Peace.